And how did he even discover these? I mean, I'm looking at that chart right behind you, and it just looks complex and in depth. How did he start correlating these things? I'm sure there might have been some type of like CT scans, as you mentioned. Is that how he do it? Did he use all of the
CT scan? He was a very intelligent doctor. He, had a history in inventing medical devices, and so he was very bright, and he also was had gone to school for theology, so he had like a lot of different interesting background, but the pieces started to come together. So he looked at the embryology. So everything, when you look at the 5 biological laws, he talks about the ontogenetic system. So ontogenetic is like the origination of this system, and looking at the embryology. So when a baby is formed, when the sperm and egg come together, the tissue starts to differentiate into 3 different layers. And so he looked at the embryological germ layer. Where does this, so the outside of your skin is a different tissue than the inside of your colon. Those are different tissue types. And so he looked at the tissue types, the histology, he correlated it to the brain level. And
wow.
And so that's how he began to see, okay, so the testicle is doing this and the lung is doing that. Okay, what are the tissue layers that this is made out of? Because every organ, it's actually really incredible when you look at the organs and how they're all interwoven. And so you'll see, the colon is endodermal tissue, but it also has musculature, and it also has blood supply, and it also has nerve supply. So it's all of these different tissue layers woven together into these organ systems controlled from specific areas of the brain. But when he looked at the brain scan, he'd see the conflict is here and not here. So that indicates that it has this specific theme of an indigestible morsel versus a conflict of the muscles, which would be feeling stuck, feeling frozen in fear, versus self-devaluation versus separation. And so everything is mapped out based on the embryological origin. And he also correlates it to the evolutionary development over time of when there were just simple organisms versus the most complex organism. Obviously, now we're the most complex organism, so we have every single layer. And when a baby is conceived, it goes through every single developmental process that causes a human to be a complete human. So it's really mind-blowing how, and there's lots of, I'd love to see all of his notes that he took along the way. All of it's in German, and so we don't have access, unfortunately, to all of his, as he's figuring it out notes. That's my dream one day, is for that to all get translated and for us to see the process as he's going through it. But now we have this complete map, and I'm sure there's still going to be things that are discovered as we actually put some money behind researching more within the system. But as of now, it has been suppressed. It hasn't been acknowledged by, conventional modern medicine, because if it was, they'd have to change everything, and they don't want to change everything.
Of course not, and then you lose a lot of money too, I bet.
If you believe more constructive information like this should be out there for people to know, please leave a like on this video. And if you're a person who's into self-development in all aspects of their life, please subscribe, because that is what we do here at Good Demand. Keep demanding good things. And if you haven't bought a pair of our Good Night Blue Blockers and you use a phone at night or an iPad or TV at night, please consider buying a pair of these. They're beautiful and they work so well, and they help support our growth.